And this is the first time I've really doubted myself on this journey where I have so many good ideas in my head. Like I can see how it executes. I can see where I have Easter eggs. I can see where you feel the magic. I can see where the reader has to like infer things and then discover things and have ahas. And part of me is like, but dang, do I have the skill to like actually make that happen? We have so many updates to go over on this editing journey. Editing has been a totally different beast. And I will say it has been the one thing that has given me my first bits of doubt as a writer. So we're going to catch up today. We're going to talk about that doubt. And then we're going to talk about all the amazing, cool ideas that I've had that I'm working on implementing in this season of editing. Welcome back. If you've been here before, you realize that what were once my weekly vlogs have not been weekly anymore, but for the last 3 weeks, I have not published a vlog. And the reason being, surprise, 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 newbie writer adjusts schedule one more time. Are we surprised? No, we're not. I've talked about before on this channel that one of the big things, and I just did an entire video on consistency about being consistent, is that we are also flexible. And that flexibility is what helps us to stay moving forward in the projects that we are working on. And when we're flexible, we have to think about our why, we have to think about what works for our life, et cetera, et cetera. There are a couple of things that I was finding about making these vlogs very specifically, that while I work my full-time job, and while I have these other clients that I service and these courses that I'm making and things like that, and while I'm writing this book, these are the things that are the most important to me. And what I found was happening was that because I needed to vlog every single week, and that was kind of the goal that I had set for myself, or the action step that I had set for myself, is that when I would vlog, I would be more focused on making sure that I was getting content, making sure that I was talking to you more so than having time to actually write. There were a lot of weeks where I would write only one day or 1.5 days. And if I'm writing, let's say there's 2 days in the week where I get some time to write, I might be writing for 2 to 3 hours in each of those blocks. That's like 5, maybe 6 hours total. If I'm spending an hour and a half to 2 hours of that making sure that I'm getting content, making sure that I'm setting up an angle, making sure that I'm thinking about what to say for an intro, it takes away from my time to actually write. And it takes away from like the brain space of getting back into the flow of writing. And so one thing that I want to try now is putting out these vlogs once a month. And I really sat and thought like, is this even important to me to keep doing? And I realized, yes, I love having these vlogs. I love watching other people's vlogs. I think it's really inspiring. I love watching other people's processes. And I want to build a platform where I talk about my book. And this is the place where I do that because I don't talk about it as in depth on Instagram. That's not what my Instagram is for. And then, of course, like my courses and things like that, like writing is my secondary passion project. It's not my life right now. Dreams and wishes. And the more I become a writer, the more I just see myself as like a writer. Another conversation for another time. But right now, being a writer is something that I want to have more of that time in. And I found that vlogging often could distract me from that. So even though I haven't vlogged in the last 3 weeks, I've definitely written in the last 3 weeks. My goal is just to talk to you about once a month, to make these vlogs once a month is kind of my update right now. But the schedule that I'm working on as I'm editing, because here's the thing that I've found with balancing business is I go in and out of these creative waves, and I realize that I'll have a creative wave that's like for my business. And then for 2 weeks, I'm just like executing, creating, and all of these things. And I'll have a creative wave for my book. And then for however many weeks, I'm just like, and months, I'm just executing and creating on that. And I go back and forth. And for a while, I was kind of making it feel like a problem. Like, oh, I feel like I'm abandoning my business, or oh, I feel like I'm abandoning the book. Mostly I would feel like I was abandoning the book because I'm always doing something in the business. So much of that, like I have clients that I'm taken care of and stuff all the time, but like new ideas weren't going to my business. New ideas were going to my book. And then if I did have a new idea for the business, I felt like I was abandoning my book. And so one of the things that I found is that I'm going to try and have another experiment, because we've tried writing 2 days a week. We've tried writing every day a week. And what I want to do, and what I'm going to keep doing that I discovered before, is making sure I only have calls 2 days a week. That way, if writing does strike me, I do have this open time, this spaciousness for creativity. I have found that has been so beneficial. But what I'm going to do is reserve all of this morning time that I have for me. I don't work with my clients until after lunch or after 1 or after 2 in the afternoon. This morning time, the first week of the month, if I have business things, I'm going to let that be a business week and just focus on my business stuff. And then the second week, it's going to be a writing week, where if I come up with a business idea, I'm giving myself permission to say, ooh, great idea. Put it on your to-do list for next Monday, because then that next week will be a business week where I can work on business things, executing, creating new programs, new ideas, adding more to the course that I'm creating, the most recent one, things like that. So I'm going to practice doing that every other. And so this week right now is a writing week. And I have been in the depths of editing. Something that's really exciting as an update on the writing front, that it's really already helped me with the editing, is I've gotten a writing coach. And we've only talked to each other once about my book, but even just having someone else to discuss about my book with has been so super beneficial. And I'm so super pumped about that. Our first call went so well. And basically what she had me do is she had me just describe in detail what I wanted from my book, and then verbally tell her my book from start to finish, which was kind of crazy to do because I realized I've written it once and read it once. So I was like, I don't know if that happens first or next in this middle part. I don't know what starts the chapter and ends it, if it's flip-flopped or not. There was places where I wasn't even that familiar with my book, which I realized makes sense. But she has so much amazing, incredible feedback, and I love, love, love talking to her. So once a month, we're going to meet and talk about my book, what's happening. And she's helped me make some decisions. And she hasn't even read my draft yet. Like, I'm going to finish this edit right now before I send it to her, because I've changed and rearranged some chapters. So if I send it to her right now with I'm halfway through editing, but with the first half edited and the second half not, it would, like, there'd be pieces that just don't make sense. So I'm finishing this edit before I send it to her for her to read, so that she can continue to give me feedback. But outside of the coach that I have, one of the things that I loved was asking you guys for advice. Like, in my last vlog, we were talking about the timeline and when my character's birthday would be. And unanimously, everybody said, and thank you so much, that March should be my character's birthday. We are continuing to edit our debut novel today. And I'm really, really excited because last week I was talking to you guys about my character's birthday, and Josie and Donna gave me some really great feedback. So today we are going to write away from home. We're going to go to a little cute cafe, get a fall themed beverage, and just clack away at the keyboard. And I'm going to work on updating the timeline based on the feedback that I got from y'all last week, which was so helpful to help me think through what astrological sign do I want my main character to be, when in the timeline of the story, when in the timeline of the year do I want my character to be born. So I'm really, really excited about that. So thank you so much, Josie and Donna, for that. I'm really excited to get after it and work on this edit. So I can't wait to go sit in this cafe and just work on my book. It's so idyllic. On, as I'm going through these different ideas, adding them into my story. And this brings me to the point where I have all of these ideas. And this is the first time I've really doubted myself on this journey, where I have so many good ideas in my head. Like, I can see how it executes. I can see where I have Easter eggs. I can see where you feel the magic. I can see where the reader has to, like, infer things and then discover things and have ahas. And part of me is like, but dang, do I have the skill to like actually make that happen? Do I have the skill to put that into words and to formulate that? And the truth is that I feel like if it is in my brain, if I have that idea and that specific like formulating and those things, all I have to do is continue to grow and refine the idea. If it's in my brain, then yes, that means I can make it real. And I feel like this part of writing, this era of editing is called patience, because really I feel like what I'm doing is continuing to refine my idea, continuing to refine my idea, continue to expand my idea and expand my idea. Like I could put my book out right now if I wanted, but I want it to feel like a world where people can get absorbed in. I want it to feel like there is multiple layers of things that you're finding out and figuring out as we go, that it's obviously not a mystery, but like elements of mystery where you don't maybe know everything right away. Like I'm changing this to where like you are not all knowing, but like you know what my character knows, you know what my lead character knows, so you discover as she discovers and goes along. And probably because you're the objective observer and not the emotional one, you'll figure out some answers before she does, which is rad as a reader. That's like one of my favorite things when I'm like, no, I know what you need to do, right? And so I want to create that for my reader. So that's what I'm working on right now. And so one of the big things that I've recently changed that I'm really excited about and I was working on this morning is I've decided that one of those things that I want the reader to discover along the way is like, what is plaguing the town? Like I'd originally just come out full throttle with what was wrong and what the withering is and how that's the thing that's, making everybody feel a type of way. But instead, like that's going to be the discovery in book one. So spoiler alert, but if you've been following this, you already know what the withering is. So whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, there's many other things to discover, which I haven't told you yet. But having this be a discovery makes the 3-book like overarching timeline and stuff makes so much more sense, because it creates like something to be found in the first book, because I feel like the big thing happens like second and third book. And so it gives us something more to hold on to figure out, to wrestle with as readers in the first book. So that's what I'm working on right now, is like, I just want to be patient. I just want to focus on taking my ideas and making them just real and whole, and everything that I envision for this book, making it come out. So one of the things that I really want to do is I want to finish this edit. I want to send it off to my coach, have her read it, and I'm sure she's going to tear it apart with great feedback. But then I realize I want to print it again, and I want to print it one-sided this time, because I always print double-sided. I don't know, save paper, but I realize it's going to help me so much more to next time I edit, I'm going to read and edit live time. And I think reading on paper and like maybe doodling on the paper and writing on the paper, and like the last vlog that I had my book spread out. Like that felt really good to see it spread out. So I think what I want to start doing is spreading out my book, then sitting with my laptop and sitting like in that chapter and saying, this is where I think this event should go. Like if I can spread out the book like that, it's really hard for me to see in the Google Doc alone. Like if I could spread out the book, I could be like, okay, this event needs to go here. Like I haven't gone back and added the birthday event that we talked about in the last vlog, because I feel like I can't see it in the Google Doc. So I'm going to finish this edit and then go back and start adding in some of those events. And I feel like it'll be easier for me to insert. I'm just so analog. I'm just so paper pencil. If I could just put it on a sticky note and shove it in, that would be great. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm going to keep writing today, keep working on where I'm taking out any mentioning of the withering. Like I just did that like Control F feature where you can find the word the withering. And so far up until now, I'm on like page 71 out of 148. So I'm just about halfway through. So now this is where I'm going to come back and start working on just the regular edit. And in this edit, it's like I go between feeling so proud of like, what a great line, what a great this, and being like, oh, wow, that's so simple. And then reminding myself, this is not supposed to be an adult book. This is a young adult book. So I'm not trying to make it complicated, trying to keep some of my words simple, but I'm seeing where, I can change sentence structure and have like a variation of shorter sentences and longer sentences, the words that begin the sentences and things like that. I'm seeing where I can do that more too. And so it's been really, really fun in that way. But I'm trying not to feel this rush to get through this edit, but instead have like a patience that I don't want to just get it done. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make it great. And so I'm going to get this done. I'm going to spread it all out and then make it even better after I finish this edit. But I got about a little over 70 more pages to go, which I'm not saying in this vlog. I'm definitely not saying today, but in general. So today is Wednesday. I have Thursday. I have Friday. Halloween is this week. So I feel like things in general just feel like slow. People are like cozying up. I am cozying up for the fall. As you can see, sweats and all of the things. And it just feels like good vibey writing energy. So I'm going to get back to it. Thank you for listening to me with my updates and my changes. I'm so excited for what this book is going to become. So let's keep creating it.